Hi, I'm Bree McAdam with the Saskatoon Star Phoenix, and we have just heard today the sentencing arguments for Jaskirat Singh Sidhu. He's the Alberta semi-driver who has pleaded guilty in connection to the Humboldt Broncos bus tragedy back in April of 2018. And all week we've been here in Melfort hearing sentencing submissions, victim impact statements, arguments, all part of the sentencing process. Now, I will start by saying that Judge Inez Cardinal has reserved a sentencing decision until March 22nd. So we did not leave today knowing what sentence Mr. Sidhu will receive. However, we know what the Crown and defense are kind of leaning towards. The Crown outright stating that Sidhu should get a 10-year sentence followed by a 10-year driving ban. The defense a little less clear on an exact sentence that they're seeking, but they did present case law about other dangerous driving causing death cases where people were getting sentences between 18 months and 4.5 years. So it appears to be that's the range the defense is seeking. Today we heard from Mr. Sidhu for the first time. He stood in front of the table where he's been sitting for the past 4 days. He kind of leaned forward, he balled up his fists, and he took a very long pause before he started to speak. And I just want to read you the exact quote here. He started by saying, "I can't even imagine what you are going through, what you have been through. I've taken the most valuable things of your life." He then went on to talk about how when he emerged from his semi following the crash at Highway 35 and 335, that he heard kids crying and didn't know what happened and then realized that there was a bus. He also went on to say that he is so sorry about the pain. It was the first time we'd heard from him, and his supporters, about 10 of them, have been sitting behind him in a row this entire week. We also heard today, for the first time, Sidhu's recollection of the events leading up to the crash. We know that he ran a stop sign on Highway 335. We heard that earlier in the week. Today, his lawyer detailing that the reason for Sidhu missing the stop sign and missing 4 highway-related signs in the 406 meters leading up to it was that his client was focused on a tarp that had come loose on one of the trailers of his semi, and that his attention was diverted and he was not focused on the road. Sidhu taking full responsibility for that portion of his mistake, but very much calling it a mistake. You know, the defense said this was not an intentional act. He wasn't trying to run a stop sign to, save time on a trip. He just wasn't focused and he was distracted on this tarp. We also heard just about the level of inexperience that Sidhu has in truck driving. We got the whole background story about how he came to Canada from India to start a life with his wife. They got married in India, came back to Alberta. Sidhu took his commercial transport training prior to that, and then got hired at a small trucking company after he came back from his wedding. And he'd been with the company for only 3 weeks before the crash. 2 of those weeks, he was driving with a partner, and the week leading up to the crash, he was alone, and he was alone the day that it happened as well. And court hearing that he never should have been alone, and that he fully admits that the inexperience he had behind the wheel is what led to this catastrophic crash. Here in Melfort, I'm Bree McAdam for the Saskatoon Star Phoenix.